went over to the nursery today to buy flowers, and they're just sitting in the garage right now because it was the middle of the day, and it's not good to plant things in the middle of the day. It's kind of hard on them. So I've got a few big pots. I'm gonna do my thrillers, spillers, and fillers, and so I got these Cosmos flowers for thrillers, and this alyssum for fillers, and these over here are called bacopa, and those are really good spillers because when they grow, they start to spill over the edge of the pot, and so the pots are going to look really puny at first. I got some petunias, these dark purple ones, and then these lighter pink ones that I'm going to just put randomly in some other pots. Marigolds I got for one of my pots. I don't know what kind of flowers those are. What are they? They're awfully pretty. Magellan Ivory. Oh, they're zinnias. So I have a couple of pots I think I'll split. I think I can split those up. And then these, I love these. They're called Calibrachoa. And they just look like, this is one of them, and this is the other. They just look like a little, like it's a flower that's throwing a party for itself. I just think it's so cute. And what else? There's another Calibrachoa. See how they're striped? I just love that. This was my favorite one of them. And then this little guy is going to be another filler in something. What is that? Scopia, golden leaves white, or Scopia, I don't know. And I probably don't have enough flowers because I've got my own pots, plus I have some pots that my mom left here. So I'm just going to have to kind of start with them and see how it goes and how far these stretch. And then of course it's going to take a while before they fill in the pots and everything. But today's date is June 7th, and we've got time for the pots to fill out. I had one big bag of potting mix, but I bought 2 more bags. So it is Friday, and it's 4:30. I'm heading over to the apartment complex because it's the First Friday Art Walk, which they always have downtown, and the apartment complex is participating in First Friday, even though they're not right part of the, as part of the downtown area. And so they're asking residents if they're artists, to bring their work to show, but they specifically asked my mom to be the featured artist. And so I will be sure to show you her work. I think she's going to show about 7, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 framed pieces. And then she got a bunch of prints, and so we're going to have a couple of bins. So we're going to have that, and she's got some packs of greeting cards of her work. So I think we'll have a nice little display of stuff for this show. And John's going to rehearsal tonight for his band. They haven't rehearsed in a while. So, and I don't know if they have a show coming up or what, but anyway, they're rehearsing tonight. And then John's brother and his wife are coming up for the weekend. They should be here tomorrow at about, probably around noon. Now in the morning, I'm going over to NAU briefly because there's a guy that I went to junior high with, and he is a children's book author, and I don't know how many books he's written, but you can probably look him up. His name's Michael Hale, and we have kind of sporadically been in touch over the years, mostly having to do with his writing and my being an educator, since he writes for kids, and he'll sometimes, just ask my advice about stuff. And with his last book, he actually asked if I would look it over and give him any feedback that I had. And so I did. It was really a cute book. And once it gets published and you can actually get it somewhere, then I'll give you more information about that. But yeah, so I gave him some feedback on that. But tomorrow there is apparently there's like this organization of people who write children's books or want to be children's book authors, and they can come and get feedback on their work. And so they're having this thing in Flagstaff at the NAU library tomorrow. And this friend of mine from junior high, who I will say I have not seen since I was probably in my 20s. And he wants me to meet the lady who's in charge of this children's book group, because he thinks that it would be good if I gave a presentation sometime about suggestions for these aspiring authors. I have no idea what I would do a presentation about, but I could certainly give them some advice about the kinds of things that teachers are looking for and kind of the trends in schools if they want to kind of go that direction with their work. So yeah, anyway, so that thing starts at 10:30 at the library, so I thought I would show up at about 10:15 and then just, see him briefly and meet this lady he wants me to meet, and then they'll have to get going on their stuff and I'll be on my merry way. So yeah, this morning I did 2 Bar 3 classes in a row. Yeah, one at 8:45 and one at 10. And I went to 2 because my mom, of course, was signed up to go to the 8:45, and she's still really new in the whole thing. It was her 3rd class, and she's loving it and doing so well with it. And so I went to that, and then I have another friend. She's the one who used to live, 1, 2, 3 houses down from us in Camp Verde, and then they followed us to Flagstaff when we moved. So she was interested in going, and she wanted to go. Of course, her first time she wanted to go with me, but the class at 8:45 was already full, and I didn't want to leave her to go by herself, so I did both of them. And it kicked her butt. It was validating for me, I guess. Donna is the one who's done a couple of races with me. She did the hot chocolate 15K, and she also did that one, the 12Ks of Christmas, that was this past December. And so she does a lot of exercise, and she runs more than I do, but she wants to be in better shape, and she's been watching, this weight come off of me. And for those of you who are interested, in 1 year's time, I've lost 35 pounds. I lost 10 pounds from last June through December. June, July, August, September, October, November. Yeah. So in the first 6 months, I lost 10 pounds, and that was really just eating plant-based. And then I started Bar 3 in December and lost another 25 pounds in the last 6 months. So in large part, I think a lot of my weight loss has been attributed to doing Bar 3. But it also has been the reason that I've been able to lose this weight and not have, like saggy skin and all that kind of stuff, because, this stuff really tightens you up. So anyway, Donna went to that class and it kicked her butt. That's why I said it was validating, because I remembered just how much it kicked my butt 6 months ago at the beginning. You just have to take it slow and don't let the first class discourage you, because it's hard. It's a hard workout. And it's actually weird that it's hard, because it's so slow and methodical, and it's just, you just wouldn't expect something that's really a low-key workout to be as challenging as it is. But I remember that it took me probably the first 3 times I felt like I got my butt kicked. Then in the couple of weeks after that, I started feeling like, hey, I'm getting stronger, I can do this. And then within, a couple of months, I was like, all right, I am into this, and seeing changes and all of that. Guarantee, if you do bar 3 or bar, B-A-R-R-E, bar exercises, whether you're going to Pure Bar or bar 3 or any other kind of a studio that does this kind of workout that's called bar, guaranteed, you do it consistently, like at least 3 days a week for 6 weeks, you'll notice. So if you do find a place near you where you can try this out, take your measurements before you start. Measure your waist, measure your arm, measure your thigh, and then 6 weeks later, check it out again, and I'll bet you anything you'll see that you've tightened up. And so, of course, weight loss is not going to happen if you're not doing something that is calorie reducing. So I think that if you're wanting to lose weight, you have to combine this with a healthy way of eating. But it's really an amazing workout. Have I said that before? Sorry, I talk about it all the time because I'm such a fan. Hi you guys, well, we've set up my mom's stuff, and I thought I would give you a little tour so you could see her work. Okay, we're gonna get weird reflections here. There's lights that are reflected here, but this is downtown Flagstaff, kind of spring snow where everything's a little melty. This is what an area downtown called Heritage Square. Sunflowers. I have one of her sunflower paintings in our house. You might remember seeing it. This is another full-blown snowstorm in downtown Flagstaff. It's a pretty one too. Over here we have set up a painting in progress, and then these are some of her note cards. She's got this, and there we're getting reflection of lights. But her diva, and you probably can't see it, but right here, there's actually a little crystal, a little Swarovski crystal that she put in there for her earring. These are a bunch of downtown Flagstaff ones. She's so good at these downtown ones. She's good at all of them. There's a restaurant downtown. How their patio looks in the summer. That restaurant's called the Lumber.
Your home should be a reflection of you. If it suits you,
Flagstaff, downtown Flagstaff in the rain.
That's why our newest collection of living spaces is designed to mix and match beautifully to create a look that's all your own. With pieces that encourage you.
This is the train station in the snow. She actually has posters of this one. I'll show you those.
Classic and modern. Shop our collection exclusively at Living Spaces.
So then this is the poster. This is the train is delayed. And you can always go to Lynn Oberon Watercolors on Facebook and see her stuff. Food put out by Peter Jungle. I hope we get some people who come. Hi you guys, it is Saturday and I am heading over to see that guy that I went to junior high with briefly. And so then John's brother and his wife are coming up. Did I say that already? They're going to be here probably somewhere around noon or 1. So when I get back from this thing that I'm going to on campus, then I'm going to plant flowers, and I'll do a video about my thrillers, spillers, and fillers. I tend to do a video about that every year on my Flagstaff home. But I'll do a little bit on this vlog about the flowers too. And then we got to figure out how to turn on the watering system. I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I can figure out how to use, isn't it funny? I can figure out how to use the technology for the box and everything, but I don't know how to turn, because they turn the water off for the winter and actually blow out the lines so that they don't crack from water being in there and then freezing. But I don't know, so I can figure out the digital part, but I can't figure out how to just get water to the system. So John said it looks like the water was never turned off for this past winter, but I don't know. So I'm going to have to try to turn it on and get it going, because the way this watering is set up for for this house, it's great because there's a sprinkler system in all of the flower beds and in the garden, and even little lines that come up to pots and water in the front and in the back. And so it's really nice because I technically shouldn't have to do any hand watering at all, which would be very nice, but I have to figure out how to get water to the system and see if indeed it was turned off for the winter. I don't know. I'll have to see. So John is out running errands, and he's got some stuff. He always does this. It's a good idea for us after we move to have visitors come, because whenever we do that, he starts going crazy with getting tasks done when otherwise he would just want to play video games. And so it's kind of nice. Did I ever tell you this story? I don't know if I ever told you this, but years and years ago, gosh, it was back in like the early 2000s, John had a baby shower at our house for a doctor at work whose wife was going to have a baby. And so he invited these guys to come over in the summer, and they were going to have a cigar party. And so they were going to be outside smoking cigars. And it started to rain, and the forecast was that it was going to like really rain. And so he said, dang it, I'm gonna have to cancel my party. And I said, don't cancel the party. I said, just do it in the garage, and you can leave the door partway open so rain doesn't come in, but the smoke from the cigars can go out. And I said, you can put a TV out in the garage and watch whatever you guys were gonna watch, and just, do that. So he goes to work just making the garage look immaculate. I mean, it was unbelievable how straightened up and clean this garage was. And in fact, when the guys came, and they did have their cigar party in the garage, and everything went well, but the guys were all commenting about, wow, John, your garage is just so clean and so organized. And so when it was all said and done, I said to John, I said, sweetheart, the next time we have a party, can we have it in the guest bedroom closet? So I figured he would get my guest bedroom closet straightened up for me. And that's kind of what John does. He sort of goes crazy over getting stuff ready when somebody's going to come and see something at the house. So yeah, anyway, so I want to tell you that last night's art show for my mom went really well. It was the first time that the apartment complex had participated in the First Friday Art Walk, and they really didn't know what they were doing. Sweet as the people are who work there, they just didn't really know. They said, well, we're on the map as a location people can go to, but they didn't have my mom's name listed. And if they had her name listed, people would have seen it and they would have come because they know who she is and they know of her work. And then they had the front doors of the complex, that led into where the club room is and all that. They had those open, but they didn't have a sign outside on the sidewalk saying that there was art to be seen, and they didn't send out a notice to the residents until probably like 24 hours before. They should have sent it out a week in advance so people would know. And even, they even put food out, and the residents come whenever there's food, and they didn't. So they just didn't know. There were some people who came, but they just, there would have been more people coming at least to get food. So the several of the people who came were people that my mom knew, and this was kind of sweet. There was one lady that my mom met at Bar 3 this past week, and it was even her birthday, that lady's birthday, and she and her husband came to the show, which I thought was so sweet that they, she just met my mom this week and she came, and they actually hit it off, and they're going to have lunch together and all that. And then my friend Donna and Mike, who moved up here from Camp Verde right after we did, they showed up. And anyway, so that the event, it wasn't the greatest as far as turnout, but there were some people, and she made a couple of sales. The one lady who she met at Bar 3 bought a painting, and then there was another woman who came who bought a packet of cards. So for a couple hours of work, she made, over $100. So that's, not too bad.
It's over. Really?
Lunchtime, but we're having breakfast at a place called the Toasted Owl. It's a lovely day here in Flagstaff. My family is right here. Give you guys and some vegetarian tamales minus the eggs. This is a really yummy restaurant. Well, the food is, not the restaurant. This cool little bookstore downtown called Starlight Books has a lot of old books and classics and some newer stuff, but mostly it's used books, but they tend to have a lot of classics. I got all the flowers planted, so these 3 back here are going to be, well, I've got my thrillers, spillers, and fillers in this one. So the Cosmos, those are alyssum on either side that will all eventually fill in all over in here. And then that's the spiller, which will get huge and drape over the edge. So that one and that one. This one back here, I just did a thriller and the filler because it's, there's pots in front of it. So I just didn't bother putting one of those. And then in this one, I put in a filler, and that's a Calibracoa, and it'll get kind of tall, but I didn't want to do the same concept of filling that pot as the other 3. Another one over here that's a thriller, spiller, filler, and then in this little pedestal pot, I put in some impatiens, and then this one is that the Vinca? Now this one is is called Periwinkle, and kind of bluish. No, I think, well, it might be light bluish flowers. And then this one over, no, that's the Impatiens. And then this one is a Vinca, that is going to be kind of bluish, purplish. I think that'll be pretty once it all fills out. And on the porch, I put another Calibracoa there. I put petunias in these flower boxes. This is a really lame looking thriller, spiller, and filler, as is that one, because you know the fillers have to fill in, this has to spill over the edge, and these are going to get much taller, and so it's going to take a little bit of time. I put my zinnias there and a white petunia. We're going to have to, all these tubes for the watering system were arranged for the way my mom had her pots set up, so we're going to have to actually redo the water tubing on this so that they're not showing everywhere. I put another Calibracoa here, and then these three things with petunias in them are going to go on a little old step ladder that I'm going to put out in the yard. Now down here, I planted some petunias here and some zinnias here, and over in a little pot, I can't see where I'm looking, right over here I put some marigolds, and then down here there's a couple of concrete pots, and those I put petunias and marigolds in, and hopefully those will start looking really nice pretty quickly. But yeah, so I got all my flowers in, and the next job that I'm going to do this week is, see all that tubing down there for the yeah, all of that is hooked to the watering system, and I haven't planted anything here yet because we had Monica's cousin, Gracie, the big pit bull, and so we wanted to leave this as an area that they could play in and do their business. But now that Gracie has gone home, I'm gonna plant some things this week in here and put out all of the watering system stuff, so that we can start getting some things going. And over here I have strawberries, and there are already some strawberries that are turning red, so very cool. So we'll keep you updated on all of this stuff as we go along this summer, and thanks for watching this vlog.